Hey, Steven, we got to figure out an intro to the podcast.
That works.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to another episode of the No Fluff MSP Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Tahir Hamed. I've got my co-host here.
Stephen Badorf, welcome back.
Welcome back. We are probably not going to have this table for much longer.
It's the final table. It's been with us since the beginning.
It has. Yeah, you're right. This is the first thing we got when it came to the podcast. Probably going to have to get rid of it for a good reason. We're just growing a lot. And so we have I think it's like 1,400 square feet.
Okay.
You know? I don't know. I think it's like 1,400 square feet. And we're starting to outgrow the space a little bit. And this room is the last untouched room. And I'm like, man, we only do a podcast once a week. We need this real estate. So we're actually going to kill this table. We're going to move everything back. So me and Steven are just at our camp chairs, and we have like a sweet like wooden thing for all this stuff. That way up here, we can actually have another desk or two as we, add more people. My dumb entrepreneurial mind was like, we need a bigger office. Like I kept doing that. I was like, oh, we need to get a bigger office. It's like, no, that's dumb. Like, it's fine. We can fit way more people in this, Like,
yeah, we have a little bit more that we can eke out of it.
Yeah. So
say goodbye to the table.
Yeah. But we'll make it look cool for those that actually watch these things. We'll make sure it still looks like a little campfire. So today we're going to be talking about a classic battle, a story as old as time. Marketing versus sales. The two go at it.
Yeah. This is a battle you've had internally, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. Marketing is upset with the sales team because the sales team is not closing all the leads marketing is producing. The sales team is saying these are trash leads and nothing is to be followed up on. They just want the marketing team to create a bunch of slicks for them, and they say the slicks didn't close the deal. There's this power struggle when it comes to marketing and sales because both teams want to perform well, and typically they want to blame somebody else for maybe a lack of performance. And so even though this episode says marketing versus sales, let me just go ahead and spoil alert for you for the rest of the episode.
I wonder what we're going to pick.
Yeah, it's not actually a versus.
Okay.
It's a marketing it's an and. It's a marketing and sales. And that's the mindset we just have to have. And I'm going to give specific, one of the reasons I want Steven on this episode is one, I love having him here, but two, like me and him worked extremely closely at Alltech. I was the sales guy at that point because he was my marketing person.
Yeah, I think so.
And it worked beautifully. And so
tandem, yeah.
In tandem. And it doesn't need to be a versus. We never once felt we were versus each other.
Well, no, I'm just kidding.
Except
I would agree.
Except when I try to choke him out with jiu-jitsu. No. So, I have direct firsthand experience I would like to share with you as to how we can make this work, because it should not be an and. It should not be a versus situation. It should be an and. Now, if you are currently the marketing and sales, great. I did that too. So I have really good specific stuff on that as well. If you're the owner that does marketing, sales, and account management, not great. Not great.
Yeah.
The end. Awesome. Maybe you're so small that you literally can't hire an account manager, but man, if you have I don't know.
It'll make your life a lot less stressful.
Yeah, we got to be growing. We got to focus on growing. All right, cool. So this is it. This is the simplest way to explain this, okay? Marketing should open doors. It should also make the house look really pretty.
Yep.
Yeah, not only does marketing open the door, it makes the house look really good. Because no matter how good the offer is, if the house looks sketchy,
yeah.
No matter how good that salesperson is that is inside that house,
that seed of doubt is present already in the prospect's mind.
But if marketing makes that house look like a mansion, that person's much more likely to go through the door and meet a salesperson that matches someone that would live in a mansion. And now we have a nice flow here. So marketing is going to open doors. They're also going to make the house look nice. Sales is going to get them to step in the house and be happy with what they find.
Okay. A little bit of a guided tour type thing.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. That's the only thing. If we think about marketing and sales in those two ways, that's it. It's the best salesperson in the world that's sitting in that house. It's literally the number one salesperson in the entire world. They're sitting in that house. They're useless if nobody knocks on the door.
Mm-hmm.
They're useless if nobody knocks on the door. Now, on the flip side, marketing can make a house look very nice. It can have a door that looks really, welcoming and say, hey, you can come on in. And some people are going to walk in and they're going to stay, right? So if I had to have a versus situation, I
knew it was coming at some point.
You're right, Steven. If I had to have a versus situation, it is an and. Let me be clear. It is an and statement, especially for higher ticket B2B stuff. But marketing should do most of the work. And it can, in many situations, do so much work that it can have the person come to the house. Not as many as if you have somebody in the house.
It's much more ideal to have the...
100%.
Team,
but if you could only do one or the other, as we have, I'm going to bet my money on marketing all day, every day, forever, in eternity.
It's just what we've seen firsthand multiple times.
Like MSP Camp is coming up on a $2 million company. We have 0 salespeople. 0.
Yeah, it would be like you, I guess.
Yeah. But I mean, even me,
that's
like, I don't
like full-time sales.
I don't do demos. I don't do calls. I mean, if members are looking for like the higher tier stuff, like I'll jump on a call with them, but I would jump on a call with them either way. But that's a good point. I guess I am the salesperson, but like,
it's not the same as like a fully fledged role, I guess, where somebody's focused on all the other pieces.
Yeah. Like we don't even do lead gen campaigns. Like I don't want your email address. I know that sounds crazy. Like higher ticket B2B, like I totally get it. We do that for our clients, but like for us, it's like, look, we want you to be so sold on MSP Camp that you just like walk straight in the door. Mm-hmm. And you make yourself at home. Totally. Don't need a salesperson for that. And you guys might have lower ticket products, which is another podcast I'm working on. And when I talk about the offers, it's like, what are some low ticket offers that we can provide to the market? And it's like, oh no, MSPs can't have low ticket. There's too much risk. It's like, listen, almost every business has a low ticket front end offer that we can get people in the door.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd agree.
There 100% can be a low ticket foot in the door offer that we offer in the MSP space.
Yep.
It's going to take a lot of thought and a lot of effort to find that, but that's what I've been working on. I got some good stuff coming, y'all. I promise. Like I got some good stuff coming in the short term on a lot of this stuff I've been learning. Okay. Here we go. You ready to go?
Let's go.
So the marketing should do the vast majority of the work. Oftentimes we hire a salesperson and we want them to generate all the leads, close all the leads, nurture all the leads, upsell all the leads. And it's like, man,
cold to close all
from
themselves.
All cold to close all themselves. And they go, why didn't the salesperson work out? It's like, cause like that's an impossible thing. Mm-hmm. That's impossible. I mean, maybe not impossible, but I mean, we're talking like the top 5%. And like, what's the chance of the person in your market that you're hiring is the top 5%? Actually, it's 5%, right? Like, what's the chance? I guess about 5%. So like, we can't do that. Like, we have to have some type of marketing machine, even if it's like us going to a lot of networking events, or us having some SEO going, or having some type of brand awareness advertising going on, or something happening that can feed some type of leads into a salesperson. Otherwise, you're going to get burnt out and they're going to quit.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. It's basically just like, I mean, it makes it so much easier if you have something you rely on in the background where like if you're the salesperson and you're doing the marketing or you're not doing marketing, it's just kind of sitting around waiting for someone to open the door. Nobody comes. They're just wasting time. And like, you're going to feel that pressure and then probably be booted for no results. But I mean, you were kind of set up to fail.
Yeah. And
stuff.
And then it's like, or like if you do expect that person to be cold calling, okay, I guess that's fine, right? Maybe you don't have a caller and then a closer. Maybe you have them doing both, which is fine for smaller businesses. Do you have a process for them? Do you have a CRM for them where they can track all that and you can see the reports? Or is it just like, find new business, call and hit the pavement? It's like, that's never going to work.
Make whatever number of calls make you feel good and then go home.
It's not going to work either. So just some points there, right? Yep. And so that's why I always preach, like, marketing should do the vast majority of the work for businesses for growth. It really should. That's why really shitty businesses can grow a lot because they have really good marketing. I mean, that's just the reality.
Like us. I'm scared.
So like that's just it. That's why I always preach like retargeting advertising.
Yeah.
Right? Like the person might not be immediately qualified when they land on the website, but like they showed interest. Cool. Like let's just follow them for months with fresh content constantly. Just stay top of mind. No other MSP is doing that for some reason. It still blows my mind. So like, let's just stay in front of them, right? Let's do the work for the salesperson. That's why I always recommend like, let's do those weekly value-based emails. Like if you have a contact list right now, like if you have a CRM of contacts or even your clients or past clients that left, Chamber of Commerce, like right now, we probably all have hundreds and hundreds of people that we can be communicating to and we don't. Why? I don't know why.
Yeah, they're just kind of sitting there in that list.
Yeah.
With nothing.
Yeah. It's not complicated. Actually, I'm going to take a step back here because I do know why. Because I dropped the ball here too, right? But if we have a list of contacts in our CRM, like we need to be sending them a value-based email every single week. We need to be sending them a newsletter every single month. Actually, interesting newsletter, right?
Yeah, emphasis on value-based.
Yeah.
It changes everything.
Yeah. And Steven's been adding those into MSP Camp. There's emails in there. Even if you're not an MSP Camp member, use ChatGPT. Like there's lots and lots and lots and lots of ways to nurture people on an ongoing basis. And so I just was like, hey, I don't understand why it's happening. Well, you know what? For multiple months, I didn't email our membership as much as I should have, right? Like we had a weekly thing. There was an issue with the CRM where sometimes it would double send. So I turned it off and I was like, okay, cool, I'm going to fix that. And then I didn't. And so then the only emails people were getting were those one-off ones where I was like, oh, big announcement or whatever.
From the forum. Gotcha.
Yeah, from the forum. And every now and then I'd send an email. And so what did I see there? Literally what happened? Membership engagement went down. Our churn rate didn't really change. Like we were still retaining a lot of people, but how many people were going in and watching the courses?
Yes.
How many people were downloading the thing? Steven would publish something beautiful and then like people wouldn't get it to it for a couple of days, right? So like membership engagement went down and then new members went down. That's how powerful email can be.
I mean, it's a direct connection in my mind, just because, I mean, we saw it firsthand where it legitimately happened just like that. And it's the same way it would work for me. Just if I was part of a service and they remind you you're part of the service. I mean, it does a ton. And it is the value-based part. Because if it was like MSP Camp sent you an email and it's just buy our new service.
Totally.
And that's the entire email. That's going to go in where you're at the other.
Totally.
But if it's a value-based email, it's like, oh, here's a service that's providing me something and they're showing me how I can utilize it to benefit myself. Like that's powerful.
And sometimes we don't realize, and I'm talking to the MSP here too, we don't realize just how good our stuff is at times. And so we like, oh, is this even good enough to send an email out? And it's like, the answer is yes. And like, here's our example, right? Steven would put together like this live action campaign with like the main video, the retargeting ads, the direct mail piece, the email campaign afterwards, like this just beautiful live action campaign. We spent like thousands and thousands of dollars on and like a bunch of time, amazing, getting results on Facebook ads. And we would just publish it.
Yeah.
We would just publish it.
Go find it.
Yeah, go find it. Just publish it. And like, we would just be like, well, someone's going to find it and love us. Meanwhile, I see other services where they'll post like one ebook. They'll post a freaking ebook and they'll just like blast it on social.
That for a few months.
Oh, they'll send emails out like, we have this new like guy or buyer's guide thing. And they're like milking it for months. I'm like, holy crap, we do that like every week. So like, we need to be communicating with our members to let them know this. And still to this day, one of the best ways to do that is just a nurture email.
Yeah.
And so for MSPs, if we have that cool, awesome way to get quotes for cyber insurance for all clients, like it's okay to just like constantly be letting people know of the value you bring outside of just support tickets. And email is a great way to do that. And for those people that are on the cold list, as we're talking about right now, like just letting them know how active you are, how much value you provide. Because if you're giving them value before they become a client, that's going to make them trust you so much more to become a client.
Yeah. With something like an MSP too, I mean, it's like, even with just like MSP Camp or something, like subconsciously, like you want to be getting your money's worth for anything. So for an MSP, when you're paying them thousands a month, or it can be like even higher, just being able to see like, oh, they added this other value piece beyond even what my agreement was at the start. I mean, it does a long way for retention because, I mean, you're also anticipating the next value add. And if you're doing that much on your own anyway, I mean, it's a key to just keeping good, engaged clients.
We've gotten referrals from people that left a client that we were at and then referred the client they went at. And I remember I'd asked, like, well, what happened? They're like, you were the only MSP out of my entire career that did like ongoing training webinars. So like that webinar we've been doing month after month that was like, it's not getting as many leads as I would hope. Is this worth it? Okay, well, that deal that closed was $5,000 a month. And he specifically said like we were the only one that put in that level of love for our clients. Okay, getting a little off base here, but just trying to kind of reiterate why we all need to be doing that email side of things. Consistent, high quality social posting, social proof, social proof, social proof, social proof, social proof, social proof.
You can never have too much.
You can never, it's literally, there's no diminishing returns on social proof.
Yep.
Testimonials, video testimonials, case studies, like there is no limit that is too much. I promise. Like some people are going to say there is. There's not. Like, don't worry about it. 500 Google reviews is not going to scare anybody away, which I've heard people say, like, don't worry. Get more than you possibly can ever get, and then it's going to help you close deals.
Yep.
Like
I've seen, said on that, yeah.
Oh my God. I've seen so many times where I came into the sales meeting and I was like, hey, what made you guys, either choose us or why are we here today? And she's like, you guys were the most reviewed company out of anybody by a long shot. That goes a long way. It still goes a long way. And in the world of AI and anywhere we go in the future, it's still going to go a long way. And a video testimonial is one of the most powerful piece of marketing content you can create as an MSP, bar none. So let's do that. Let's do more of that. Let's make the salesperson's job easier. And we do that through everything we just talked about, right?
Yes.
Among other things, but these are like the kind of 4 pieces ones, like retargeting ads, weekly value-based emails to anybody that does come through, consistent high-quality social posting and networking, and social proof, right? That's going to make the salesperson's job so much easier, and they're not going to have a versus situation with marketing.
Yeah.
They're going to have the relationship me and Steven had at Alltech where it's like, we're helping each other, okay? Now let's get into that a little bit, right? So we're going to talk about the me and Steven relationship, marketing sales within an MSP, and then we'll get into when I was doing it by myself. So, I was doing the marketing sales and account manager at Alltech. I hired Colin as the account manager, which was incredible because now I could just do sales and marketing. That was amazing. We started growing really well. And then I hired Steven to do marketing. That was even more amazing because now I could keep these marketing initiatives going. And that's what Steven's role was. And there's lots of stuff we did, but I kind of want to hit on one specific thing that I thought was super cool. And that's the One More Child situation. So not just the RFP, but also the
video and all
the stuff we did when they were doing the SharePoint migration and everything. So, one, this was like the biggest deal I'd ever worked on. It was going to be like $30K a month. And I was like, I have to get this deal. And I'm big on standing out. Like that's kind of our whole thing.
Yeah, I would agree.
And so I was like, I got to tie in marketing to this. And so we did like an office tour, which that office tour is on, I think, MSP Camp's YouTube channel. It's also on the MSP sales presentation. So if you actually want to see that tour that me and Steven did. And so as the salesperson, I was like, I want to close this deal, but I don't have enough time or understanding of marketing. Well, I do, but I need some help. So Steven jumped in. He's like, hey, why don't we do this tour? This is how it's going to work. This is how we'll edit it. We'll throw in social proof at the end, blah, 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 blah. And so now I had the marketing team helping the sales team on creating this thing that helped us close the $30,000 a month deal.
Yeah.
If it was just the salesperson, I wouldn't have been able to put as much time and attention to that RFP because I didn't have the support I needed. Right?
Yeah. I have an example too. I mean, do you have more on this specific example?
We can get back to it. What do you have?
I was going to say, the way I always saw it, whereas super beneficial was supplementary content like that. And especially when you were providing, as we were saying, value-based emails to clients about topical events and things like that. Having something else like an infographic, ebook, something to attach other than just plain copy. And the example I always think about, because it was one of the early ones from when I first started, was I believe it was the Microsoft NCE was running at that time. And then we had an infographic created, got it to you, you attached it to your email with copy. And I believe that closed for one of the clients.
So someone I've been talking to for a long time, and that was the final straw where he's like, no, my IT company has not told me about this. Let's just meet. And then I closed it that same day.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that does come to the supplementary content, the sales team to know we can add more to this than just plain text. The marketing team to know how to do that quickly, get it to you, and then it's a completely, I don't know, almost co-managed. Not co-managed, but co-managed.
No, totally.
Yeah.
We have a client right now, a large client. And, I went on their social and the salesperson posted a video. Great video, great topic, great subject, great lines, but it just looked kind of amateur. And I was like, okay, if this salesperson had a good relationship with marketing, he would have sent that to marketing to make it look really nice and professional, and then post engagement will go up like crazy, like literally like crazy.
Yeah.
So I emailed them like, dude, this was amazing. So glad you do stuff like this. I'm here for you. Like, send it to me. Like, don't just post it. You don't even have to post it, bro. Like, that's what marketing is for. We'll post it for you. Like, send us that raw footage because you're the salesperson. You got some intimate knowledge of what the prospect cares about. Perfect. Get that to us. We'll make it look, we'll marketize it, right? We'll make it epic.
Marketize it, yeah.
And then we'll post it on your behalf. It makes your job not only easier, but it's going to get better results. Like, that happened last week, and he was so stoked about it.
It lowers the mental weight substantially because both groups know what they need to do, rather than if it's just the salesperson records the video and is like, I need to get this out.
Yes.
Because
which is what
they
it
don't
looked
want to
like.
do all the marketing.
Yeah. That's what it looked like. I mean, it was good, but it's like, man, this could be so much better.
It could be better. Yes.
Yeah. And then in addition, you know, we were doing this like $50,000 SharePoint migration. It was wild. And it's funny. This is a little bit of an interesting thing that doesn't tie into this totally, but if you're an MSP or if you're the sales, I think you'd find this, whoever you are, you're going to find this interesting. So I closed, these people, this client was on like old servers. You know, we started looking at it. I was like, man, this whole entire thing could be in Business Premium, like Intune, SharePoint. Like, we don't even need any of these big, heavy, like hot servers. So my whole thing was like, I'm going to propose them on, so I'm going to do that. Or I'm going to propose SharePoint. So anyway, we ended up winning the deal, and it was like $50K for the whole project. And I brought the network engineer with me, and it was great. And we had the conversation. We left, and I was like, "So, how much do you think this is?" He's like, "It's going to be a lot of work." I was like, "Yeah. How much do you think we're charging for this?" Because he didn't know.
Yeah.
He's the network engineer. He had no idea how much we're actually charging as a company for this. And he was like, probably a lot. I was like, yeah. What? And he said, probably like $7,000.
Yep.
And I said, $50,000. And his jaw hit the floor. Right. So I just kind of interesting that, like, again, this is kind of a tangent, but like, that's literally what he thought we were going to charge $7,000. I was like, no. This is a $50,000 project, right? So I don't know. I found that kind of interesting. It's like, wow, I didn't realize just how disconnected sometimes the text could be with just like the level of
I was gonna say, I mean, that could be an entire podcast topic too about like undershooting the value, especially price wise, because I mean, it's something we've done to ourselves a ton. I mean, it's hard to like create something that you know has a ton of value and then price that correctly, because it's very easy to be like, price it lower. I don't know.
Yeah.
That could be its own thing.
Yeah, totally. Agreed. So that's just some good examples of like how marketing sales should work hand in hand. The next thing I want to kind of cover, and this will kind of be it before we wrap up, is if you are the marketing sales or you're the owner that does the marketing sales, account management, et cetera, it's kind of the best learning experience of just how, you know, I was trying to think of an example of this. Like, how do we know marketing and sales are so important and hand in hand? And it's because of my personal experience, right? I couldn't think of a better example than this. I was doing marketing, and then I started doing marketing account management, and then I started doing actually sales, right? And when I started doing sales, well, I was also doing marketing. So if marketing wasn't valuable, I would have just stopped marketing. But I realized when I became in sales, I started marketing more. So I added a new role, which was sales, and I started doing more marketing than ever because I, for the first time, realized just how important marketing truly was.
Yeah. Because it was necessary to your process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the best example I can give, because it's like when
firsthand. Yeah.
when you're both of the things, you will immediately cut out the things that are not bringing value.
Yep.
Like immediately your time is strapped. But I realized in that moment, like, that's how I know it's an and statement, because it's like, as the marketing and salesperson, I doubled down on marketing, which was more pain and stress for me, but ended up being more valuable to the sales process. That's when we got more video testimonials than ever. That's when we did more outreach campaigns than ever. That's when we did more SEO content than ever, because now I'm also dependent on closing deals. So I need to put pressure on the marketing team. which was me. So that's it. Like that's the best example I can give. Because when you split it out, it's easy to point fingers and say, this one's not as valuable as this. But when you're the same person doing both, you realize like, oh, they're both needed. Like they're both needed and I need to excel in both.
And it makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah. And it makes, that's the biggest thing. That I'm so glad you said that. That's the point, is that working double time on the marketing made my life easier on the sales side. That's exactly it. Going back to the beginning of this episode. Any thoughts on that before we wrap up, Steven?
Nailed it. No, I think it's a great insight, because I mean, that's about as firsthand as it gets. Like as I already said, I mean, you were doing both things, and you had to do both things.
Yep, exactly. And doubling down on the thing that was providing a lot of the value.
Brought the results, yeah.
So as you think about marketing versus sales, let's just think marketing and sales. We can't usually just do one.
Yep.
Now, if you have a low ticket offer, you can just do marketing, because obviously you can't have a salesperson if your offering's less than $1,000 a month. That literally doesn't make sense. They have to make commission, right? So in some situations, you literally can't have sales. But obviously in the MSP space, most are high ticket. So in that situation, you need sales. Like whether it's the CEO or you have a dedicated closer, like very few people are going to make a multi-$1,000, a month high commitment thing without
that point of contact.
That point of contact. But in the B2B, we put too much emphasis on that salesperson and not enough emphasis on making sure it's easier for that salesperson to make us money and in turn make themselves more money, which is what we all want. Win, win, win.
Mic drop. I like it. I said mic drop.
Mic drop, literally. Let's break this thing off and throw it on the ground. No. All right, cool. Well, hey, appreciate you guys. I hope that was helpful. I hope that helped us to kind of think of how we should think about marketing and sales within the MSP space. I hope you haven't noticed that I have another black eye.
You should have just talked from this
I know.
angle.
It's kind of getting kind of crazy. But anyway, appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Yep. Thanks for watching and listening. Or listening.
Peace.
One of the two. See you.
Yes. All right.